Hey, what's up everybody? So in today's video, I'll be doing something a little bit different. What I'll be doing is I'll legitimately be going over quite a bit of video analysis in regard to a gaming moment that I find pretty enjoyable to watch. And the game we'll be going into is Apex Legends. Now, what we'll be analyzing is the Apex Legends Global Series Championship, the really big one that essentially all pro teams want to win. And we'll be delving into one of my favorite teams of all time in all of esports, DarkZero. And what I'd like to do with these video analysis videos is legitimately just try to translate what's going on and essentially give a logical but easy to understand perspective in regard to what's happening and how they were able to win, just so people can get a better idea of not just mine, but their thought process as well from someone who's definitely delved into a high level competitive scene that is relatively respectable. Now, let's delve into the video. Now, just to give context, Game 9 is the game point for the entire championship right now, specifically for DarkZero, because they have essentially garnered enough points and are at a point where all they need to win the championship is to actually win a match. So that's pretty much what it is. And they do showcase the map right here just to show where teams are at right now and where DarkZero is. DarkZero is at a really good spot right here in Antenna is essentially what it is, what the POI is called, place of interest. And pretty much behind them and Barometer right here and Shipfall, they're uncontested, so they're not going to be pushed from behind. So they pretty much have a really chill approach when it comes to understanding where they need to rotate next. This outline circle is showcasing where the next smaller circle will be that protects or essentially is storm free, where they don't get damaged by the storm, right? And what's interesting is that in this game, they can have characters that can scan for the next available circle that will happen in a few minutes. And Jen, Sharky, and Zero, the guys in DarkZero, already know where the next circle will be and are essentially positioning themselves to accommodate for that positioning as best as they possibly can. And as we continue to watch, you'll notice that they're just kind of going together, getting ready to rotate. They use this Valkyrie ultimate, which gives them crazy repositioning ability by sending them all the way up to this level of height. And they make their way to the next circle, which is showcased in green in the minimap. They notice that based off these diamond scans that there's a lot of enemies kind of littered around the bottom of this hill. These guys are kind of pushing up as well, but considering that they already have pretty big disparity when it comes to height, they have first dibs on getting this position right here, considering no diamonds are popping up, meaning no enemies are there whatsoever, meaning it's a super free rotation that they're kind of able to make. They're not even getting shot at, so they're pretty chill right now still, despite them having quite a lot of enemies, a lot of opponents around them. Zero gets ahead, mostly because his character is positioned for movement. Zero pops a few ultimate accelerants, which are essentially ultimate boosts that gives him his ultimate back quicker. Pops his ult in a minute. Boom, there it is. Ult available once again. Now they're going to rotate to a better spot. Now the reason they rotate to a better spot, by the way, is because despite this being height over a lot of people, like on the bottom of that hill, it actually doesn't protect them from behind. Behind them is like a big structure as well as a lot of flat ground, meaning a lot of enemies can kind of rotate from left or right and bottleneck them right here and obliterate them. So rotation is really smart. The fact that they're able to get out of there and figure out a way to essentially put themselves in a better position. But a lot of teams know this is happening, considering they hear the Valkyrie ulting, they hear the jetpacks, and they know the players are up there. So they take pot shots at them, which is pretty effective. Even, almost got Sharky killed. I'm glad they split here. Really good play. Able to get out of harm's way, but Sharky is a little bit behind because his character is, one of the slowest characters in the game, relatively fat as well. So really big big surface area for people to be able to hit their bullets on. Now, Sharky calls out for Jen to cover him while he rotates, And funnily enough, teams were already looking at Sharky knowing that he's weak, so they thought they could get an easy pick, but Gen will be covering and trying to body block for Sharky, eating a couple of shots here. This red means Gen ate a shot. They're shooting quite a bit. Sharky is out of harm's way, and now they're chilling. Gen places a lot of various gas canisters around to make sure that if enemies were to push them, they'd have a little bit harder time going towards them. And something that I really like about DarkZero and various different teams that have really good trust dynamic is that their IGL or their initiator will split, but still be in line of sight of the other two guys and just kind of scout out the area, but still be able to have, I guess, the open-mindedness to be able to escape. Zero's in a really good spot still because Jen and Sharky can still look at him and be able to cover him if he gets pressured. But, he's still pretty far, which is good because they're able to cover and determine where they can optimally rotate from and rotate to. This is cool here because Zero is once again pushed up while Sharky and Jen are covering him. Jen's actually kind of taking a second to chill. I believe Zero is the one to call that out to have him relax here. Jen takes a second. Is now looking. And if you see in the minimap, they're covering right, they're covering left, they're covering straight. Really good hold of this defensive position. Really good spot, honestly. A lot of ability to move around because of the open field. And then Jen's just placing traps around to make it harder for teams to come up on them. And keep in mind, right, other teams may have Valkyrie, so they may be able to fly over them and land in the back. That's why Jen is putting down a gas canister here for a trap, just in case they decide to pop in and ult their way all the way behind DarkZero. Jen's pushed up here, which is pretty good. Now he's kind of taking the initiator role, but trying to get picks, essentially trying to get kills, right? He's trying to peek, see if he can find any possible initial engagements that he can partake in and utilize his core strength, which is his godlike aim. I'm a big fan of this dip here, and I'm a big fan of how they utilize this dip because they use it as being able to push up while still being safe. Many times there are situations where you would like to push up, but it's not too safe. But the fact that most of the teams are over that dip means they're kind of chilling when they push up. So they just need to watch their flanks, like left and right. And as you can see here, but Jen sees the team on the left, pressures them from pushing up forward aggressively, so keeps them at bay a little bit by sending out a few bullets their way. Zero's pushed up once again. Jen and Sharky take anchoring positions, and Zero goes for the peak here. He's legitimately just trying to pressure another team that he knows is there. Forces them to chase, essentially, because they probably think that Zero's close to being weak, and he's super overextended from his team. But little does the other team know that his Jen and Sharky are looking over Zero's shoulder and lasering the fuck out of the person who decides to peek and go for Zero. It's crazy because Jen is able to do this and instantly flick and target acquisition lock on the left-hand team to pressure them away from pushing. I mean, they peeked knowing that Jen and Zero and Sharky were in the middle of a fight even for a split second, but the fact that they were able to instantly lock on and pressure them away is incredible. Absolutely fantastic. Now, you see them kind of chilling here because they know they're in a position where they should not be attracting a lot of attention from other teams. They don't want people to be looking at them and forcing them to die. If other teams were a little bit, more on top of it and I guess knew of their existence, it actually would be a really smart play to push DZ or DarkZero and see if they can, they could push them away from God Spot, which is essentially where they are. Because look at this, even if they don't have ultimate height advantage, which this building essentially is, and so is this building, which is like the higher buildings of this entire small circle, right? They have a lot of movement to move around, and if you were to just chill up here, you would not really have that much cover, and you'll be able to see yourself what happens when you don't have that much cover, despite you having height advantage. So despite a lot of streamers, despite a lot of people who like have guides about how to best position yourself in a highly competitive game, it's not always about height advantage. It really isn't. You need to take it into account your surroundings, and you need to understand how you can play accordingly, especially when you're getting pressured by aggressive players and people who have really good aim like these guys. Height advantage is good for 1v1s, but if you're going to get third partied, yeah, you need to think twice. Because as you can see, third party city, they're just farming damage off of anybody who pushes height. Easiest harm ever. They're literally not getting contested. They're not getting shot at. They're just Gen was able to exhaust so much ammo in that. So goes to show how uncontested they essentially were when it came to challenging and third partying those guys who were fighting on height. Pretty good on their part. So here they know circle's closing in and Zero's pushed up trying to look for engagements to try and initiate. Gen and Sharky are pushed back waiting for the opportune moment to strike, and Zero's right. So Zero's up here trying to look for it. He's calming. He's trying to determine, all right guys, just watch for me, keep me protected, and we'll see what happens. And Zero is looking in the perfect direction because as you can see, the team inside that building realizes that the circle is literally right at their heels and now they need to rotate. Zero anticipated this, calls it out to Jen and Sharky, and now they're all firing at these three players. Get some weak, get some red. Sharky really plays this smart. He's not directly tunnel visioning to these guys who are weak. As you can see, Sharky is full on pressuring the team on the left, completely thwarting their ability to third party Gen and Zero who are pushing up on an already weak team that they absolutely blasted. Incredibly smart play by Sharky and a really, really good team dynamic they have here because they understand the ebb and flow of combat to a T. Sharky is legitimately able to play defensive, protect his guys, while Zero and Gen are able to capitalize a little bit more on the people who were weakened by their shots. Now, a lot of people decided to go ult spammy, so they fucking blast the area with aerial strikes, but it doesn't do that much damage. All the boys really need to do is full reset and legitimately just reaccount or reanalyze their surroundings while staying together, which they do effectively. Sharky and Zero go down to the dip, reset. The other guys who got hit by the ult decide to pop the shield, but here's the thing. When they pop the shield, they essentially notify everybody in the general vicinity of where they are. Yes, it's a really good defense mechanism, but at the same time, nobody's full pushing or aggro aping them. So this essentially reveals that they've used their shield. They push out of the shield a little bit to try and challenge Zero and Sharky, but Gen sees this coming, so he full ults to zone them away from that general vicinity. These guys have to push the other team that's in close proximity to them, which is to their left, knowing that the challenge towards Gen, Sharky, and Zero would most likely lead to a loss. So they try to take advantage of an already ongoing fight here. Smart play, highest level of survivability. But now they're third partying upon third partying, and now it's Gen, Sharky's, and Zero's turn to do cleanup. And as you can see, it's just simple. Now they're slowly inching their way towards the actual chaos. Guy is kind of staggered from the rest of his team. Easy because Gen is not only ticking for poison damage from his clouds of gas that he decided to chuck over that way, but he's also lasering the living crap out of this fella. Guy's pretty much red, one shot. Yeah, gets sniped to oblivion, super dead. And now Zero, this is really good too, actually. The fact that he's able to zone a little bit just to make sure that they don't push that way. But Zero calls out that two teams are literally fighting right here. They look, laser one, another guy's fighting them too. 1v1 turn into oblivion. Caustic against the world. GG 3v1. Easy. Absolutely fantastic win. I love watching this back essentially with original audio and just hearing them with their comms. I really think it's worth watching that back, so I'll be linking this video in the description for anybody who wants to check it out, especially the entire game or the entire championship because they play through 9 games. But it's a great one to analyze because it really showcases what happens when you implement patience and a relatively chill mental, especially in an environment or setting that's hyper aggro and everybody's kind of just trying to farm kills or trying to get the next spot, thinking or tunnel visioning into just not necessarily the best possible like decision making. You know what I mean? While these guys were able to legitimately hold a good chunk, a massive chunk of the circle, and just have it their own for literally almost half of the entire game. So massive props to these guys for legitimately being able to pull it together and create an amazing memory. and game moment. Honestly, miss the OG DarkZero. These guys were top tier. I love their vibes. I love the environment, the dynamic that they played with, especially when they all cared and were very motivated in playing the game. It was just really fun to watch and hear. They're just popping jokes and having a great time while they're playing at the highest level, and you can't help but enjoy and smile when people do that. It just means they're having fun with it and they're really enjoying their time. It's good stuff. But anyways, guys, I believe that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen, and I hope it was relatively easy or easier to follow. Um, I try to use the least amount of Apex terminology as I could just to make sure I explain it in a way that people can understand. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's it for me for tonight, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.